is that Kayvon Thibodeau has 17+ sacks and is a top
What
5 edge in
in the
2024.
Whoa.
I got half of pissed up.
It was right here before it hit the ceiling.
Whoa.
It's the IDP show, now you know.
Welcome to the IDP show. I'm your host, Josh Raymer, joined in the Sode Shack tonight. Adam Markham, Bobby Reynolds, as is tradition with the season 2 days away. Ravens-Chiefs kickoff game. We are doing our 2024 flag plants. Boys, it's a nice bow on an off-season of analysis and projections, just to kind of sit back and say, these are the guys that we like. This are the kind of takes that we're putting out there, staking our claim, planting our flags. It's a fun little episode to kind of recap and wrap up the offseason.
Oh, yeah. Fun to put yourself out there. Let them come for you.
You got to have takes. You got to believe things. We can't just love every player. Every player is going to be great. We got to have some takes, Bobo.
Busiest offseason for these three guys in a long time.
Yeah, probably show history.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys ready for a break?
Sure.
Let's this is going to be it for this season. We're going to take off, and you guys take care. We're going to drop these takes and then be gone till February.
Hey, we've prepared you. You know, if you're just now getting ready, you're already lost.
It is funny to look at the website stats and see every weekend from like the end of July on, we had big spikes where people were obviously preparing for drafts, coming to get the projections and the rankings and all that. So thank you all for giving us our best month of the website, like far and away. Like the spike from this past 6 weeks compared to the rest of our website history is just laughable. So thank you all. Hopefully you feel prepared. Drafts are pretty much wrapped up, and hopefully you're feeling good about your squads.
Yeah, we dropped gems all off season. People know who we like. I got a few little mini flags.
A few. He has 32 mini flags, people.
That's right. I know what you guys are here for.
I have 3, technically 4, because one of them is 2 guys. Bobo, how many do you have?
I've got 508 for every player ranked in Adam's ranks at theidpshow.com.
Hope you all are tucked in for about a 16-hour episode tonight.
That's right.
So
we're going to break this thing up into 4 parts. So this will be part 1 of 4.
Part 1 of 4. There you go. If you listen to it nonstop, continuously, without sleeping, you may get done before the kickoff game. Maybe not, though. Well, let's get going, boys.
What a fun game also, by the way. Thursday night. Even the Monday night game is pretty spicy.
Friday night game.
What's the Friday game?
Eagles-Packers in Brazil on Peacock.
Yeah. It's going to be sick.
Yeah,
bueno.
Life is good again.
Some really good week 1 games. Colts-Texans. Right out the gate, Rams-Lions.
Oh, I didn't know that was this weekend.
Yes, dude. Some
Where
awesome
is that?
games.
Is that in Detroit?
I think so.
Making Stafford go back to Detroit
because Stafford's
again.
wife and kids are not coming to the game. I just saw that before I came out to the shed.
Sounds about
and the
right.
great thing is, if you play IDP, there's no bad games.
Yeah.
They all matter. They're
do.
all loaded full of players that we need to come through for us.
Cardinals-Bills, another one. That's
that'll be fun.
For the offensive side. Saw a crazy stat today, courtesy of Hayden Wink, shout out Underdog, that Matt Milano on the field versus off. Did you all see this stat? With Milano on the field, they had like 0 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. With him off the field, it was 7 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Wow.
With like a crazy completion percentage difference. So the
That's cool stuff to look at.
your boy Trey McBride lines up very nicely in like a week 1 DFS kind of lineup. Yeah. Because they're going to feast across the middle of the field.
49ers Jets Monday night. What are
right.
the odds that Rodgers ruptures that Achilles again?
Boy, can you imagine can you imagine if he got the other one?
Jeez.
Yeah, I think it's very high.
Is that in New York? Any idea? You know where that is?
I'm not sure where that is.
Man,
hopefully it's not in New York on that turf.
Also, it'd be interesting to see if the NFL bumps to Labor Day weekend next year in 2025. That's the rumblings right now.
That is the rumblings.
They want it. They got their eye on that weekend.
Because they saw college football kind of getting all the headlines this past weekend. They're like, we kind of want that. Well, and here's what that's going to happen. They're going to go to
Second banana to no one.
18 games, right? 2 bye weeks, 2 preseason games.
Okay.
That, I think, will be what you'll see as the big kind of schedule shuffling. Maybe as early as next season.
And NFL may be getting a little scared with the college playoff, coming about this year. That's a bigger deal. That could be a lot more lot more interest in college now.
You know, speaking from someone that plays IDP and plays Devi, I have some concerns. I'm concerned about. I think 3 preseason weeks is kind of necessary. The more you play IDP, the more you see like, wow, these guys are really trying to make the roster here. You know, you got your Austin Bookers and your KJ Henrys and guys that get waived and get picked up by other teams. That's a really important time frame to make a stand for a team. And then the other side of that also too is that, like, I was thinking with a friend of mine in Clemson this weekend. The winner potentially of the NCAA football playoffs could play 4 more games after the regular season. So if you don't get the bye, and let's just say you're the 9 through the 12 seed, there's a chance that you could play 4 more games. That's a lot of wear and tear on.
Yeah, a lot of risk
college
to get hurt,
guys. Absolutely.
You got to wonder if there'll be like some rest or something to kind of help mitigate that, because it's a lot more games than these guys are used to playing.
Yep.
If you don't have 3 preseason games, who knows if we get the Joe Andreessen day?
Yeah.
Like if we don't have more opportunities for these kind of no names to pop and establish themselves as potential starters. But it's all about the money. Preseason games don't make the NFL owners money. Regular season games do. So that's what they're going to go to.
I am a fan of the 2 buys, though. I think that's necessary. Playing for 18 weeks and only
It'll
having
happen.
1 week off is too tough on these guys.
Fantasy football, it's going to be wild.
Oh, yeah.
Because now you've got multiple bye weeks.
Yeah.
Who knows when we're going to start the playoffs? If they go back to Labor Day, I guess that helps facilitate it. But it's going to be interesting.
The world's just shifting more towards the daily stuff, the prop bets, game lines and everything. It's really becoming not so much away from fantasy, but more of the best ball type mentality.
Best ball, DFS, betting. Yeah, I think that'll only continue to get bigger, especially as more and more platforms enter the space.
Because, I was talking to Jay Ball this week, and he was like, what about, shout out, back of the VIP 18. This is the 18th year that we've done our home league.
Shout out.
He's like, what about this league do I need to know? I was like, look, 5 of these guys are going to set a roster. The other 5, you're going to soar past and make it into the playoffs. It'll be fine. You're going to have to be one of me, Adam, Josh, or maybe 2 other people in here. It's pretty much how it goes every year.
That's how home leagues go. That's why we love them.
JD and Connie.
We need a little bit of a layup to make it easy on us.
Yeah.
But
that's how most leagues are, honestly. If you're not in a league with a bunch of sharks, all you got to do is make the playoffs.
That's right.
I will say my home leagues have gotten much sharper, though. They all have good resources for the most part. Everyone's using the same cheat sheets. There's no sleepers anymore.
There really aren't.
All the rookies were getting snatched up. I was like, damn, these guys don't even play in like dynasty leagues.
Yeah.
But they knew.
They know. They've got their magazines.
I'm heavy on Malik this year. Not Malik, Marvin. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I've
both
got
of them.
him.
Both Malik, too.
Yeah. Malik was the highest rookie wide receiver as far as ADP is concerned. And Marvin was even like 2 rounds higher than him.
Marvin was a first-round pick in underdog drafts.
Wow.
To basically to pay back that draft spot, he has to be better than Puka Nacua rookie year.
What if
tall task?
I got to say, in one of my main leagues this weekend, I took Amon-Ra over Jefferson and Chase just because I was like, it's a little bit more of a known situation. But even with Marvin, I think the thing with Marvin is just that it's like, I don't want to get left behind. Yeah. What if Marvin looks like Jefferson? What if Marvin looks like Chase?
He's going to get 150 targets.
Yeah, a ton.
Just him and Trey McBride. And that's it. Yep. That's it.
Yeah, we've seen rookies come out and ball like crazy before.
That defense is going to
have
suck.
an Odell Beckham-esque rookie season and just be a absolute trump card against everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Was there any? This is a Flag Plan episode. Was there any guys that doesn't have to be IDP, but players you weren't leaving your draft without?
Yeah, Neighbors was one for me in the VIP draft for sure. Just because folks I listen to really and trust think that he could be the target leader for the entire NFL. Like one of the, because it's similar situation. Him and Marv are in where it's like, who is there?
They're going to be down all the time.
Yes, that team is bad. I think that Cardinals team is going to be in a lot of shootouts because that defense is not going to be able to stop anybody.
Yeah.
So I think Hayden Winks, again, shout out Underdog, had a defensive episode on the channel, ranking the defenses 1 to 32. I think he had the Cardinals last and the Browns at number 1, which I thought was kind of interesting. I would probably have something like the Jets, I would say.
Yeah. I've actually taken the Seahawks twice. And for one, they have an awesome Week 1 matchup.
I was going to say, typically, I just want to get the best Week 1
but
matchup.
also, like, I love the Seahawks defense, man. Like, people are sleeping
Really
on that
good
defense. So that's one that I'm targeting and would recommend, Seahawks, because no one drafts them. Like, I've been able to, get them at my last pick.
Yeah, they're wavered out there.
I got the Buccaneers against Jaden Daniels in his opening game, Week 1.
That could be fun.
Because I just like to stream. I don't necessarily grab a defense with the intention of playing them.
Yeah.
I'll just grab whoever's playing some of these bottom tier Giants, offense, Panthers offenses each
I don't
week.
actually mind, man. I don't mind getting like 2.
Yeah,
I got the Eagles, and then I got Seahawks. And bada bing.
Yeah. I've got a lot of Jets, I have to say. I've got a lot
And
of Jets.
Jets is a good one.
I've got some 49ers, too. I think even though Dre Greenlaw's not there, that team's still going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
That defense is going to be all right.
Niners go early, though. They're usually like one of the top 3 picks.
Yep.
Jets are interesting.
Yep.
Will McDonald, is he going to break out?
Reddick signing Jets gear, but refuses to show up and play.
Yeah.
He's the
gonna
only
come, right?
he's the only player still holding out.
I saw that. You think he's going to end up showing up here this week?
Boy, I don't know. I think it's a coin flip.
Uh,
He should, because his contract's not going to toll. He's going to be back on the Jets next year. He's going to miss out on $15 million. You'd be stupid not to come back.
To answer your question, I have Marv in a couple spots, but my 2 that I would say that were kind of deeper for me were Romo Dunze was a guy that I think you could look up, and him and Caleb Williams. It seemed like every time Caleb Williams scrambled in the preseason, he was looking deep to Rome, and Rome had separation. And then the other one, because I'm always wide receiver heavy, Travis Etienne and DeAndre Swift seemed like their ADP was way further down than it needed to be. Especially, both of the leagues that I play in are PPR, so they're going to catch the ball. And I think Etienne, until Brian Thomas and Gabe Davis and all that stuff gets figured out, it's going to be a lot of Etienne, it's going to be a lot of Ingram, and it's going to be a lot of Kirk. But yeah, and your boy DeAndre Swift, I think he could have a nice little season for him in Chicago.
Love to hear it.
NFC North, I don't know. I've got a lot of him in golf too, so whatever.
The other guy I would say I had a star next to on my sheet was DK Metcalf. Just because I think this Washington, as in the University of Washington, offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb coming over to lead Seattle, Geno Smith, I think the most accurate deep ball passer in the NFL last year by advanced metrics and statistics. You got a bombs away offense now with Grubb.
Yeah.
Metcalf's one of those guys I could see popping off for like 12, 13, 14 touchdowns this season, man. It's like, I think people aren't ready for how good the Seahawks could be if everyone stays healthy.
Lockett's injured right now, too. I think he's got a leg thing going on.
He said he feels good. He said he's ready to go week 1.
Well,
I
there
think
you go,
that
man.
offense could be very good.
JSN could be really good.
Yep.
He was buried. In my 2 IDP league, I have a full offensive roster, but we rostered 2 IDPs in Phil's league, which was fun. Your boy Fred Warner and Quincy Williams.
Let's go. It's
Not too bad.
Heavy tackle league, so
Just 2 top 8 linebackers.
yeah, we'll take them.
So
that'll do.
speaking of,
won it last
let's get into the flag plants, boys. Addie, we're going to go to you first. Can you chunk yours up? Give us 8 or so to kick things off, and then we'll kind of go around the
third it
table.
up. How about a third it up for us?
Third it up. Let's
Sure.
third it up. Give us your first third mini flag plants for 2024. Kick us off,
And we're
Andy.
going Arizona through Washington.
Love it.
All right. So Arizona.
Don't love it, but love it.
We'll get through it quick. No worries.
I believe in you.
Arizona. Zaven Collins and Dennis Gardeck combined for 20 sacks.
Okay. The
Matt-
Juice King, you mean?
The Juice King.
The Juice
The
King.
long-haired one. Mac Wilson finishes top 40 and plays 70% of the snaps.
Okay.
Jesse Bates finishes outside of the top 12 safeties.
All right.
Under 8 sacks for Nnamdi Matabikwe.
Yeah, Nnamdi. No longer Justin. Love to see it.
Not a fan of that. Already tough enough to do the last name.
Kentucky boys, it is tough.
I think Kyle Van Noy is going to be the best edge rusher on that team, fantasy-wise. For Buffalo, Von Miller over 8 sacks. Cole Bishop finishes top 20 among safeties. Josie Jewell, top 10 in points per game among linebackers. Kyler Gordon averaged the most points per game among the defensive backs there in Chicago. He's a top 5 cornerback. I think we're going to see a Sam Hubbard bounce back, finishes inside the top 30. Mike Hilton is a top 10 cornerback. Zadarius Smith, over 10 sacks. JOK finishes top 12.
Oh, baby. Love it.
Jordan Hicks finishes top 24. Donovan Wilson, top 12 safety season. Eric Kendricks finishes top 20 among linebackers. DeMarcus Lawrence finishes top 20 among edge rushers, over 10 sacks. Alex Singleton leads the league in tackles.
Yes.
Finishes top 2 at linebacker. Baron Browning breaks out 10-plus sacks.
Whoa.
Goodness gracious. I'm going to go back through the transcript, Bobo, and Adam's going to have 14 top 12 finishers at linebacker, 28 top, 25 edges. Yeah,
Sure.
this math ain't quite checking out. I will say I love from that DeMarcus Lawrence. Yes, Lord, preach on it. JOK, my Madness squads would be very happy to see. All my best ball squads would be very happy to see those two things come to fruition.
I think we've talked, I especially have talked about a lot of these guys this offseason. So just
This
a
is
nice
where you
little
kind of bring it home.
I think so.
Yeah.
I can't just choose 3,
Yeah.
I got to,
For the rank creator over here.
Yeah.
A lot in your head.
You've been in the lab. You got a lot of beakers and test tubes.
I got a lot
floating
of
around.
takes I can put out there.
Yes.
For sure.
We can put them on paper.
So let's say you just rattled off, I think, 8 of the teams, right? And a lot of those had multiple players. What are the 2 or 3 from that bunch that you feel like take it to the bank? I'm betting big on these flag plants.
Marcus Lawrence has to be one.
That's a big one for me.
Yeah.
I talked
Singleton,
about that
I feel like,
with
is
Macri. And Singleton, that's the one
Yeah.
I was looking at. Singleton, I think he's going to have a monster year. I do think he has a good chance at leading the league in tackles.
And Mac Wilson.
Mac
Mac Wilson's a pretty big. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been a big Mac Wilson fan all off season.
They cut Chris Barnes, right?
Yeah. I mean, he made plays whenever he was given the opportunity there in New England. So I like him, man. And the coaches talked highly of him. So we'll do that. I like that.
All right, there you go.
Now, Josie Jewell top 10 in points per game.
You
among
do
linebackers.
love Josie Jewell.
Big fan of Josie.
If Dennis Gardeck and Zaven Collins combined for 20 sacks, look out.
10 apiece.
Yeah. The value
Hey,
on
if you're looking for some IDP prop bets, Adam's throwing out some good ones right here. I think you can get Singleton as the tackle leader on DK right now.
Yeah, probably so.
So,
I love those.
Bobo,
Yeah.
give us your first one.
Yeah, mine's a little different, so prepare for a short novel.
Okay.
The King of Queens was a show in the mid-'90s
Yes,
that
it
I
was.
always felt was a better sitcom than most people gave it credit for.
Kevin James.
Kevin James,
Yep.
Leah Remini,
Yep.
Victor Williams, Jerry Stiller, who also played Frank Costanza on Seinfeld, combined to make a show that was much more enjoyable than Everybody Loves Raymond,
I would agree with that.
Frasier, and even Friends.
Yeah, I would agree
yeah.
with that.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
Now, Kevin James also made a show enjoyable to watch and was a truly unforgettable main character. But what made that show was the interactions that he had with his co-stars. Just like many main shows, main characters can only perform so well alone, but they need help pushing a narrative or conversation to pure bliss and making a show truly special.
Bobby wrote this on the mower, I can tell.
Now, Baltimore, since 2022, has seen its Kevin James in Roquan Smith. After his departure in Chicago, Roquan has performed admirably, if not even maybe a touch underwhelmingly in Baltimore if compared to his IDP production in Chicago. He's been great, don't get me wrong, but he is a bit more advanced in his IDP years and starting to become more of a field general and not so much of the main act anymore. His running mate since 2020 in Patrick Queen has seen the heights and depths of PFF grading while amassing 454 tackles and 13.5 sacks in the last 4 years. Queen has matured to a more palatable linebacker and will get a chance to do what he couldn't do in 2020, lead an NFL defense and be the green dot and field general in Pittsburgh. Now, we look to Baltimore, the hole that is left in the Ravens defense. There's been a lot of talk this offseason about, will Baltimore run a more dime-heavy defense? Well, that's not even it.
Malik Harrison.
Yeah. See an increased role in 2024 after they re-sign him to a one-year deal. I think we got a bit bored this offseason is what we did, and Baltimore's been showing us the whole time what they're going to do. After drafting Trenton Simpson in the third round of the 2023 NFL Draft, the Ravens kept the reins on Simpson all year, preparing him for the day when they would let Queen walk and groom groomed Simpson would take over this role in 2024, allowing Simpson to play 42% of the snaps in Week 18 of a playoff clinched season. Simpson racked up 5 tackles and a sack. On 143 snaps this preseason, Simpson has racked up 14 tackles and 6 assists to pair with a 4.8% missed tackle rate. All the meanwhile not playing with the best linebacker in the league. I'm almost done. Now, one
This
of
is great. I'm
one of my
enjoying
best
this.
flag plants in recent memory was that Ernest Jones would play more than 60% of the Rams snaps alongside Bobby Wagner in 2022. This begs us to ask the question, could Trenton Simpson be this year's Ernest Jones 2.0? Look at the similarities. Both drafted in the 3rd round of the NFL draft. Both played linebacker in the ACC. Both saw relatively little playing time in the rookie season. Both are going to have the opportunity to play along future Hall of Famers. If we are wondering what to do with Ernest Jones, then why don't we just go ahead and get the next Ernest Jones and Trenton Simpson at a more discounted price? Now, us cinema fans, right, who love Kevin James, have
Noted cinema
also
fans.
who also have probably seen Paul Blart, Mall Cop, as well. But just like Kevin James with no co-star, Roquan Smith with no co-star just isn't the same. But Kevin James and Roquan Smith fans can be thankful that co-star is coming. My first flag plant for the 2024 NFL season is that Trenton Simpson will play 60% of the Baltimore Ravens snaps and will be a top 24 linebacker in IDP.
Okay. I didn't know where we were going when we started off King of Queens, Kevin James. I was like, is he about to do like a Leah Ramini, Trenton Simpson comparison?
Unreal show. They talk about The Wire, Breaking Bad. You got King of Queens in
King
there.
of Queens needs to be mentioned on that Mount Rushmore.
Great show.
So 60% of snaps and top 24.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, are you top 24? I think he'd be needing to get like 85, 90% of snaps.
We'll see.
Are you anticipating well above that number or just like super impactful on fewer snaps?
I think he's going to play a lot more than 60% of the snaps, but I just kind of wanted it to be similar to my Ernest Jones take from years ago, but I wanted to be a little bit more spicy. I wanted him to get the snap percentage, but I also wanted him to be a top 24 linebacker because we were talking before Adam got here like we normally do, that, you know, to be a top 36 linebacker last year didn't really take a whole lot. There were a couple names on the list that were very mediocre. So if Trenton Simpson can be somewhat of what Pat Queen was last year, which Pat Queen last year was a top 10 linebacker, if he can be 80% of Pat Queen, I think he could be a top 24 linebacker. Adam could speak to this a little bit here too. It's a little spicy, but it's not too crazy.
Yeah, I think he's one of those types that can do a lot with less, you know?
I think if he finishes top 24, he's clearing that 60% threshold.
Oh, 100%.
By a good margin.
But I mean, he could still be in the 70 to 80%
Yes,
range,
sure.
I think, and still finish top 24.
I think he
right
could,
there on the edge, probably.
he is probably one of the most boom bust linebackers for 2024.
Yep.
Because he could be top 24, even higher potentially, or he could be linebacker 78, you know, because he just doesn't get the playing time, and it's Malik Harrison.
Right, and it could be up and down, you know, inconsistent. That's a worry too. So even if he does have a good week, it's like you're not starting him probably.
Yeah.
But I do like Trenton Simpson. Like I'm a fan of him this year.
I think he's a great pick for like madness builds if you're trying to like differentiate and find that guy who's going to bust his ADP all to pieces. So it's a big swing.
Yeah, you're right. The 60% in the top 24 don't really go hand in hand. It really would be more like 80% in 24 or 60% in top 36.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. I want to clear both of them.
I think you to tie it back to Ernest Jones. Does Ernest Jones play 60% of the snaps? That's an interesting one you could
he
debate,
will.
right?
He will. It sounds like from what the Titans are saying.
The coaches have already said he's going to get as much
until
play.
he can grasp kind of
Yeah.
what's going on. They'll have him on a snap count.
Yeah. But I also saw where there's like he'll get as much play as he's able to like essentially earn. Like
sure.
we're just waiting for him to get up to speed, and then it's like here we go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we got two capable linebackers here.
that's right. That's right.
We talked about like it does give me a little bit of concern. You know, and those guys, like we mentioned, they had really good reports all offseason, both of them, Gibbons and Murray. So
Who do you feel more confident in, Ernest Jones or Trenton Simpson for this year?
Probably Trenton Simpson.
What a crazy question to ask.
That
We asked
is.
this question
Wow.
2 weeks ago.
Somebody was asking if they should trade. I think it was Brian Williams, Titty Sprinkles, Hunger Games champion, was trading away Ernest Jones for Terrell Bernard. And I was like, I think I would do that deal.
Yeah, I think I want Bernard.
I think I want Bernard because he's 100% locked in as the Bills' 90 to 100% snap linebacker.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's crazy. It's
crazy world. Changes fast.
We just thought he would fetch more, man. I mean, when
I
it's
know. And land in a better spot.
Yeah.
Like Tennessee, why do you have to do this to us?
But historically speaking, though, if we would have thought about this a little bit better, outside of Bobby Wagner, the Rams haven't really paid any linebackers of note. You know, they've paid Aaron Donald. They paid, I think, Leonard Floyd. They've paid some people on the defensive line. But, you know, that I can remember, their linebackers have just been some guys for the last several years, you know?
Yeah. James Laurinaitis.
Sure.
James Laurinaitis.
Laurinaitis.
All right, let's go to my
Nice little TBT.
first linebacker flag plant here. I've got a two-pack on the first one and then another linebacker for my second one. But let's start with two guys that we've talked about a lot this offseason. Some of our favorite values. I am calling for Isaiah McDuffie and KJ Britt, top 36 linebackers by ADP. McDuffie, LB 60, Britt, LB 68. Now, top 36, that's a usable linebacker if you start three linebackers in a 12-team league. That seems lofty, but I went back and looked. Christian Harris by Big Three scoring was that guy last year, LB 36. Also in the top 36 of linebackers, Jelani Tavai, Nicholas Morrow, Micah McFadden. You do not have to be a sexy name to be startable in moderately deep IDP leagues, and neither of these guys is sexy. Now, McDuffie's playing time was up and down last year, but when he played more than 70% of the snaps, he averaged 12.3 points per game and never scored less than 10.75. If you give him the average of about 16 games, because linebackers are going to miss games, it just happens, that's 196.8 points, 18 points more than Christian Harris had as LB36 in 2023. If you use 175 points as the threshold for a top 36 finish, which is around the average output from the last 3 seasons, you just need to average 10.93 points across 16 games or 10.29 points across 17 games to finish as a top 36 linebacker. So basically 10.5 points per game, you're good. You're in the top 36. So that's the case for McDuffie. For Britt, I think it's simple. I think he's better than Devin White was last year. He finished as, for as bad as Devin White was, he finished as LB 40 by Big Three scoring. I think Britt is better than Devin White. I expect him to finish higher than White did in the same exact setup that Devin White had with Todd Bowles as his head coach / defensive coordinator and alongside Levante David. According to PFF's John Macri, which, Addy, you just did, Macri's show. Go check that out. Dark Horse IDP 1 candidates, I believe it was.
Yes.
Very fun episode you guys put out.
Great time. Thank you, Macri, for having me.
Yes.
Love to come back.
Love to come back. We will be back on at some point with Macri, but
Yeah,
according...
you guys got some upcoming
we do.
dates.
I think I'm recapping or previewing week 4.
Very cool.
Yeah, so should be fun. But according to Macri, Britt's tackles versus expected. Bobo, I know you're a big tackles versus expected
that
fan.
chart.
Right in line with what you'd expect, while Devin White's was dog shit. That according to PFF's John Macri. Literally, the percentile was 0 for Devin White. Devin White was the worst tackling linebacker in the NFL by tackles versus expected. Now, just a tiny little sample size, 2 games, but KJ Britt averaged 10.5 points playing 90+% of snaps. So he's well within that range I mentioned earlier of points per game average. Neither of these guys are going to be league winners. But for those of you who punted on linebacker to load up at other positions early this offseason, you're feeling pretty great about the discount you got. And if you're saying, well, what about IDP Madness? Where did he go later in the offseason? Britt went as LB 42 in my Madness draft. McDuffie was LB 47 to your boy. So give me McDuffie, give me Britt, top 36 finishes.
Love it. And I actually think KJ Britt could be a league winner.
Think so?
I think so, man. Think he could just ball out. Like 140 tackles out the gate.
I just think he's a lot better than Devin White. And I just think That is such
I
a
just think he's a better tackler.
Yes.
Which is really all that matters,
Yes.
right? He'll get into he'll probably luck into some big plays, but I think he can actually make some himself. So, I expect him to do what Devin White didn't, which was make tackles.
make tackles.
And that's all you're looking for in IDP production.
Yeah, again, a very small sample size, but I looked at the tackle rate for both of these guys, and it was 9.3 for Devin White. That's very bad. 18.1 for KJ Britt. Again, very, very small sample size.
But still,
he did what he was supposed to. So if he gets 80 to 85% of snaps alongside Levante David, which is my expectation, yeah, I mean, the upside is there, Bobo.
Yeah.
Top 36 maybe selling him a little bit short.
Yeah, that grouping right there in the old BBs has been a pleasure to draft. If you faded linebacker at all and you were able to grab a couple of those guys, those are the league winning type. Much like Trenton Simpson. Simpson's ADP didn't really. It's kind of been moderately high. Those guys were probably behind Trenton Simpson, but yeah, especially KJ Britt. KJ Britt. He could be great. I don't know, 140 tackles. That's probably, that's a great season for him. I'd say 120 at least.
but also you got to worry about like Levante David, like potentially getting hurt.
Yeah.
He's
33, 34.
Yeah, he's up there.
Mm-hmm.
And if that happens, oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, KJ Britt could be top 12, top 15 type.
It could be like an out of nowhere, like Zaire Franklin type
Yep,
of
exactly.
That's
season.
exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking an EJ Speed type of season if you have the stalwart and Zaire Franklin go down.
And that's a bad division. You're playing a lot of bad teams, so the Panthers, you get to play Derek Carr and
is a
whatever
bad
that
division.
situation is with KJ Britt. I really like that one, Joshy. That's a good one.
Hat tip.
You talk about somebody from relatively, I don't know how to use this phrase, obscurity.
Yeah, relative obscurity.
Relative obscurity to almost like zero to hero. Somebody who you could look up at the end of the season and honestly, I don't want to say like top 12, but honestly, he could knock on that door if the stars align for him.
It's like hero RB,
Yeah.
the equivalent like hero LB and IDP. Like these are guys I feel fine. If I've got McDuffie and Britt as two of my starting linebackers, but my edges are loaded up.
Yeah.
My offense is sick because I punt at linebacker. Like these are the kind of guys.
These are your KJ Britts and Isaiah McDuffie's. Those are your Jalen Warrens, your Jerome Fords.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Blake
what that's
Corums.
right. Exactly.
This is on my mind because I went hero RB in back of the VIP. I think I'm starting Jerome Ford and Rico Dowdle week one.
Yeah.
So
How you feel? You feel pretty good?
I feel fine.
You're living.
Yeah, I feel fine.
You're living.
Figure it
Little
out.
scared,
You'll figure
but
it out.
feeling good.
Figure it
We're
out.
living.
Feel alive.
Be a lot of injuries.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's
the backups.
we say running backs, linebackers are kind of similar in that the handcuff, you can handcuff that position because the guy can step right in and be just as productive as the starter.
And oftentimes, too, we look at the top, 12 linebackers, and maybe 6 of them you can recognize, And then even with DBs, you look at top 12 DBs, and maybe like 4 of them you can recognize. And then all of a sudden, there's like your Cam Bynums, your Josh Metellus. I don't want to mention all the Minnesota Vikings
You
from
have
last
to,
year,
though.
but you kind of need to, But the D line is what I was talking about, to where like, those top 12, you're going to recognize 8 of those names.
Yep.
The KJ Britts can sneak in. That's a good one, Joshy.
Thank you,
I don't
baby.
know, straight up, who do you like more for 2024? Who produces more, Isaiah McDuffie or KJ Britt?
KJ Britt, I think.
Think so?
Yep.
I do. Because we've seen that Devin White role
Yeah.
be very, very
I
profitable.
think Britt finishes top 24. I think McDuffie finishes top 36.
In a crazy world,
Yep.
who could
Could see
play?
it.
Who could play more snaps? KJ Britt could probably play more snaps.
Yeah, I think
just
he's gonna be
because
like
of
9.
Levante
I think
David.
they're both going to be 80+% of snaps.
Quay
I
Walker
really do.
is a pretty.
And if Quay goes down or Levante goes down, those guys slot right into 95, 100% of snaps.
Good one, Joshy.
Really believe that. Addy, let's rip off the next 8 teams here. Are you going 8 at a time, or you said you're 12 at a time?
10. I'm going to do 10. I did 10 at once, I think, the first time. Then I'll do another 10, and then I'll finish up with whatever, 12.
Whatever's left over. Here
Sure.
we go. Hit us, Addy.
Some guys we just talked about recently coming up. Start with Detroit, though. I think Alex Anzalone outproduces Jack Campbell on less playing time,
Spicy.
but I think both finish inside the top 30. So everyone calm down. Preston Smith, Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness combined for 30 sacks.
Oh, wow.
Isaiah McDuffie over 100 tackles. Quay Walker gets benched.
Wow, where's the camera?
There it is. There it is.
I'm cutting that for the Green Bay fans on YouTube.
I just did that for them. They've been annoying about the
They've been
the linebacker
really annoying.
situation.
Very annoying group.
Chill out, guys.
Yeah, it's
All
okay.
right? No one knows.
We-
Truly. But they did bring in a lot of linebackers. All right. Will Anderson, massive breakout, 15 sacks, top 3 IDP finish.
Oh, baby. That's some depoy type buzz if he does that.
I mean, you could
Put in a little bet. Put in a little Betsy.
If the Texans do well, I also liked Danielle Hunter. We talked about that on the first bets episode. Hunter's a nice little value this year, I think, too. Law 2, defensive rookie of the year.
Let's go.
DeForest Buckner finishes DT1. Josh Allen finishes outside the top 15 edge rushers. Drew Tranquil finishes higher than Nick Bolton.
Uh-oh.
And averages more points per game.
Oh, I forgot. You don't have Bolton anymore.
He's free to.
Let the hate
free to
flow
do
through
this.
you, Addy.
Denzel Perriman over 135 tackles, finishes top 24. Quentin Lake, top 20 DB finish.
Bobby just ascended into heaven.
Jared Verse finishes top 18.
Uh-oh. Bobby's officially dead. We got to get the paddles out.
Malcolm Kuntz, 10-plus sacks this season, gets $50+ million this offseason
From the Raiders?
from a new team.
Ooh,
It
okay.
will be next season's Jonathan Grenard, Bryce
Okay.
Huff.
I like it.
And then one more before we break here. Jalen Ramsey finishes top 5 among defensive backs.
Let's go.
Ooh, defensive backs.
Took him in madness because I was like, you know who really likes Jalen Ramsey and has drafted him a lot? The tremendous presence in this space.
Drafted him more than any defensive back.
Yeah. So
He
Did
was,
a big spill about Jalen Ramsey on Macree's pod. So
He was free 99.
I think my
yeah, man.
Super deep.
top 3 were some of your favorites. I went Keyshawn Nixon, Tyreek Stevenson, Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
In madness.
Lovely.
Should be pretty fun.
He's gonna be you two at the end, apparently.
Yeah. All right.
Battling
Oh,
each other.
my team is filthy. Filthy. We're still drafting somehow.
I was going to say, we might have to tighten up the timer to get madness
I think
done.
we're going to make it.
Think you're going to make it, land the plane?
Yeah, fingers
Bobo,
crossed.
the Rams ones were very, very spicy. What'd you think about those?
Yeah, Quentin Lake, cosign times 1,000. Love Quentin Lake. I inquired with Lauren here this week about a little Quentin Lake. I was going to offer him Christian Wilkins and for Quentin Lake in a third, and he said he thought and prayed about it all day. Love you, Lauren, but just couldn't do it. Couldn't pull the trigger. The reason I did, real stupid reason, honestly. Not a lot of intel. Just Bobby being dumb on Twitter.
On the mower.
They mic'd up Quentin Lake in one of the scrimmages here lately, and he was just living in the slot, like by the line of scrimmage the entire time. And it wasn't like a panned out view. It was just like real quick with the players, but you could just tell the entire time this guy is around the commotion. He's right around where it's all going on. So I love the Quentin Lake one. I love the Jared Verse one. I think that Peter Schrager has already said that Jared Verse is going to be his week 1 defensive player of the week. Like, that's his guess already.
wow.
Schrags, I think, covers the Rams or, like,
Maybe.
is close with the Rams because, the LA connection with their office being there now.
Yeah.
So there's some kind of connection there.
I love the Verse one, man. That's a great one. I think you could look up in Verses like who's Verse like? Brian Burns,
Yeah.
Montez Sweat.
I think he's like a 60 and 12 type guy.
Exactly.
Immediately.
That would be nice.
Yep.
He's going to
Better-
play a lot. I think he's going to play the most out of all of those Rams edge rushers.
I think he's going to play the most out of all rookie edge defenders this year.
Could see it. You saw the
Edge
Rams are
rushers,
willing
yeah.
to give.
Yes, what'd I say?
Just all of them.
Yeah. He's going to play more than Dallas Turner. He's going to play more than Latu, probably. That's
Not as
close.
much as Austin Booker.
Oh, Austin Booker.
Yeah, he booked.
Love you. Love you.
I
Book.
got Darrell Taylor there now.
Terrell Taylor. They probably wish they had him back in Seattle.
Yeah.
Uchenna, what was it? MCL
I
sprain?
think so. Probably going to be out for
bummer.
6 to 8 weeks.
Little
Did
while,
he go on IR?
I think so, yeah. That's 4 weeks.
at least.
Derek Hall season.
Yeah.
People are saying, all right, so similar to the last time, give us like 2 or 3 from that grouping that is like this, Addy
Heartbeat.
$100 bet on DK.
I feel like Kuntz is going to ball.
Okay.
Kind of do. I'm kind of worried about Tyree Wilson just not being a thing.
Yeah.
still being a while away. And so I think Kuntz is going to have every opportunity to. I think he's going to play like 70% of the snaps there at edge. And I mean, he's going to be highly motivated by this potential contract. I think he's good. So
he's probably near the top of the list. Him and Baron Browning in terms of guys wanting to get paid, right?
Yeah.
The payday, the contract year glow up.
Yeah, it's very real. We see it all the time. Talk about it all the time for a reason. So
It's a real thing.
I like that one a lot. Also, I mean, I'm big on Tranquil, man. I think his ADP is silly. Like he was going like linebacker, like 40 range probably. That's stupid. I mean, I think he might be the most productive. That was my take. I think he is more productive there. So, yeah, I think if I think we're going to see his snap share be higher in year 2 there with Kansas City, and I just think he's a better IDP asset. He's every time he gets an opportunity, he fills up the stat sheet. So I'm a fan.
All right.
I love that.
Well, there you go. Bobo, you got another one for us?
I do.
Let's do it.
All right. Ready for it?
Tuck in.
Flag plant number 2. New York City is known for a lot of things,
Including the King of Queens.
some of those being sightseeing, deep dish pizza, and being one of the world's most deep dish pizza. That's not right.
Chicago.
New York
Chicago,
style. Yeah.
New York style pizza.
Yeah.
Bobby has never been to
My
New York.
apologies.
But they
to-
they have good
You-
pizza there, right?
Yeah, great pizza.
This is your camera, Bobo.
Pizza by the slice.
red light.
Pizza
There
by
you
the
go.
slice. I'm talking to the people, not just the
That camera's
one
not
person.
on. There's no one there.
The other people. There's people back there, Josh.
I hope not.
Being one of the world's most diverse cities, over 800 languages spoken in New York. Do you know that?
That's a lot.
Baseball caps were invented in New York. Thank you very much. It's also known as one of the fashion capitals of the world, seen to the annual New Year's Eve celebration. In short, New York truly is the city that never sleeps.
Chat GPT. Tell me about New York. Write me an introduction for
Don't
New
you
York.
dare. Don't you dare.
Check his website
Don't
history.
you dare. I used my encyclopedias earlier today to write this.
Encyclopedias.
So what better place to showcase your football skills than in the bright lights of New York City? With 2 football teams that have been the laughingstock of the NFL the last couple years, IDP producers have still been aplenty in the Big Apple. Now the New York Giants are home to a new pass rusher in 2024, and it isn't one that is currently holding out. This player was the lone bright spot in Carolina since the 2019 season. His departure left a gaping hole in that Carolina defense, but will now aid the Giants in 2024 with his pass rush prowess. Coming off his second highest PFF graded season with an overall grade of 73.8, where he turned 40 pressures into 9 sacks. Now, myself and Adam have like minds when it comes to some players in the NFL. Sometimes we think on our own. He has his Khalil Max in 2023. Sometimes I have my Ernest Jones. But we do converge at times in seeing what could be for a player's outlook. And I have a feeling that we are converging here. My second flag plant for the 2024 season is that Kayvon Thibodeau has 17-plus sacks and is a top 5 edge in 2024.
Whoa.
I got half a fist up.
It was right here before it hit the ceiling.
Whoa.
That went.
I had to rope you in with the burns. Had to pull you in.
I thought, oh my God, if this is an Isaiah Simmons flag plant, I'm cutting your mic off right now. That's where I thought you were going.
No, man. Kayvon, 13 sacks in 2023 on 43 pressures. He did struggle a little bit in 2023 in the PFF department, but he showed improvement, in my opinion, as the year moved on. So it's kind of like we've talked about the last couple of weeks. Why are we casting him off after a disappointing 13-sack season? Now he has help with Brian Burns. You've got, some help on the interior as well. I really think that Kayvon Thibodeau, we could be really, really too low on. 17 sacks is a lot, but 4 more than he had last year on a pretty down year. Top 5 edge, let's go for it, man. If we're going to be spicy, let's be spicy.
That is spicy. I like Kayvon for 12 sacks and
that's
top
what he did last year.
18 edge or something. But Bobo's just 17 sacks and a top 5 finish.
I think I called maybe 14 recently. I feel like it's what I said. But yeah, I mean,
who knows?
it could happen.
Who knows?
I do like him for 14, so you can talk me into 3 more.
He did
Things happen
13
every
last
day.
year. Can't
Things
just
happen
bump
every
it
day.
one.
They're playing an extra game now.
Absolutely. Hey, we're going to come back
I believe
around.
they were playing an extra game last year,
Well,
too.
but that's kind of new. That's like the last
It's new-ish.
2 years, right?
Yeah.
I had to-
17 sack. What I'm saying is 17 sacks ain't what it was, Josh.
That's a sack
years
per
ago.
game.
Literally.
Sack per game.
Literally, it wasn't what it was, though.
It's true.
Did y'all
So,
y'all thought I was
I
going
am
Brian
right. I am
Burns the whole
correct
way?
there.
I know. I literally thought you were going Isaiah Simmons. I literally thought I'm going to have to cut this whole segment because this is absurd.
I didn't really look up too much about Kayvon Thibodeau. I just really like him. I'm really ready for
It's
it.
a vibe type
Sure it
thing.
is.
Chat,
It is.
does Bobby have Kayvon Thibodeau in our Reality Sports
No,
Online league?
I've tried. I've asked, but
He's tried to get him recently.
no bueno. Yeah, tried to offer Micah to get Kayvon plus.
Yeah, I think people are definitely sleeping on Kayvon.
17's a lot, but if we're gonna shoot,
If
we're
it
gonna shoot.
hits, oh my God, can you
Yeah.
imagine?
Oh, goodness.
Hey,
Be our greatest take ever.
nah, we've had better.
All right, well, this one is not as spicy, but I am going with another linebacker, and we're going to Indy. My next two flag plans, both are nothing if not homer picks. EJ Speed, top 18 linebacker from Adam Markham of the IDP show at Adam IDP on Twitter. From weeks 13 through 18, EJ Speed averaged 18.5 points per game. This was number one amongst linebackers over that stretch. Now, I would be a lot higher on EJ Speed, but I think Zaire Franklin, now fully healthy, is going to eat as well. Don't forget, even missing one game last year and being hobbled down the stretch, he finished his LB 14 by Big Three scoring, averaging 15.18 points per game. In 2022, he was LB 3, 16 points per game. So I think Zaire will be top 12, potentially top 6. With Speed as the Dre Greenlaw, supercharged second banana in this equation. But like McDuffie and Britt, who aren't league winners because the ceiling just isn't there, Zaire is not a league winner in my opinion because he's going near his ceiling as LB7. Speed is the league winner type as he was LB 37 by ADP and LB 37 in my Madness draft to yours truly. And I think you get the ceiling plus the discount. Now, it's possible I have these guys flipped and EJ Speed is the top 6 guy while Zaire is top 18, or maybe they both finish top 12. My point, boys, is you want the Colts linebackers. I think both of these guys are positioned to have phenomenal seasons.
Agree.
Top 18, EJ Speed.
That's spicy, but again, I mean, he finished the year red hot. There's no one else behind him. Him and Zaire have a podcast, good rapport.
Yes. I just think these guys are fired up. I think Zaire's healthy. I don't want Zaire because I think he is going right around his ceiling, if not slightly above it. And I just think Speed is the guy. I'm not really kind of putting this out there as a bold take. I expect Speed to finish top 18. If the guy stays healthy, man, I think he's going to play 85, 90% of snaps. And just he's a freak, man. He's a playmaker, Zaire is going to be that tackle machine. But we saw what Speed was capable of. And I only am throttling it back because I think Zaire's back to full speed now. Pun intended.
Wow,
Pretty good.
That's how you do it,
yeah,
folks.
that's a great one. I can't even think now after that pun.
Yeah, my mind is blown.
My mind is blown.
Those are 3 all similar guys that you've had flag planted so far. EJ Speed's been a great value, Isaiah McDuffie, and then KJ Britt as
And
well.
I wanted to go with guys. I have McDuffie and Speed in Madness. I've got Britt in our main league. I wanted to go with guys that I actually have shares of, right?
Could EJ Speed be a top 12 linebacker?
Yeah.
For sure.
Could Isaiah McDuffie be a top 24?
I think he would have to take over for Quay as the LB1 there.
KJ Britt could be a top 24 linebacker.
Yeah.
Probably not a top 12.
I think both of those are more injury contingent.
For sure.
I just think EJ is a full-time linebacker and could outproduce Zaire, but I think we might be sleeping on. Well, we might be sleeping. The public still loves Zaire Franklin.
Yeah.
And
Right.
honestly, I think KJ Britt, back to him, I think he could outproduce Levante. I thought Levante had a kind of an unusual year last year as far as big plays and stuff goes.
Yeah.
And I think even the tackle rate was a little abnormal.
Was it his biggest year
It's-
output-wise?
In 5 or 6 years, I think. Yeah. So I feel like he's going to come back to earth a little bit.
Yep.
But
Agreed.
yeah, I don't think there's much of a.
A little bit of an outlier season for Levante.
I think so. And then I think there's no ceiling really with KJ Britt. I won't be surprised if he's averaging 15, 16 points per game
Agreed.
next season.
Would love to
Agreed.
see it. All right, Addy, take us home. Your final batch of mini flag plants. What you got?
Blake Cashman finishes top 15. Ivan Pace outside the top 40.
Oh, boy.
Sorry,
everyone. We still love Ivan Pace.
Everyone loves Ivan Pace. Jelani Tavai, New England, over 115 tackles. Josh Uche, 10 sacks.
Oh, baby.
Over. New Orleans, Chase Young, under 6 sacks. Demario Davis, top 20 linebacker once again. The only linebacker you want there in New Orleans.
Not Stinky Pete.
Definitely not Stinky Pete. Tyler Nubin finishes top 15 among safeties.
Get you a Nubin.
Will McDonald outsacks Jermaine Johnson in 2024.
Don't like that.
40 tackles, 12 sacks for Bryce Huff year 1. Milton Williams finishes top 15 among defensive tackles. Cooper DeJean averages 13 points per game year 1.
I love the specificity with Cooper DeJean, baby.
Wow.
Kick and punt return leagues, I assume? No. Without kick and punt return.
Doesn't even need it.
Doesn't even need it. All right.
Baller.
Nick Hembig plays 40% of the snaps, hits 8 sacks. Cam Hayward, top 5 DT finish. Also shout out 3 years, $45 million.
That came out of nowhere. I thought he was close to retiring.
I know.
Nice little retirement gift.
So I like that. I think he's always been awesome, dude. He just got hurt last year.
He did.
Seattle, Derek Hall, 8 sacks. Witherspoon finishes DB1.
Yes, give it to me.
Nick Bosa, MVP, defensive DPOY.
DP, there you go. I was
There
like,
we
here we go. This is the spiciest one.
Yeah, Nick Bosa, DPOY. Javon Hargrave sets career high in sacks. Finishes with 12. Tyke Smith, 80 tackles. KJ Britt, top 20 finish. There you go.
Let's go, baby.
Monty Hooker, top 20 DB. Kenneth Murray, greater than Ernest Jones. Jonathan Allen, top 5 defensive tackle.
Yes, please.
Dorrance Armstrong gets 10 sacks.
Wow. So there are 140, I think, sacks coming between the guys that you've mentioned.
Yeah.
Roughly 36 top 24 finishers. But I like the optimism, Addy. We fall on the optimistic side. We want to be excited about players. But you had some unders there.
I mean, I'm naming a lot of like
Big
players that
yes.
get disrespected.
Yeah.
So I mean, sure, I'm optimistic, but who's usually ahead of the curve?
The tremendous presence in this space. Yeah, I mean, Ivan
Big
Pace,
pole lover.
outside the top 40. Chase Young, under 6 sacks. I think you had some other ones in there that they weren't all positive. It wasn't all sunshine.
Yeah,
and rainbows.
right.
Justin Majabikwe.
Namdi.
Namdi.
Under, you said?
Yeah, under 8.
Under 8?
I
Yeah.
mean, set for some regression. Not everybody,
Josh Allen probably, I'll say under 13 sacks.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
That's
one
a
off
safe
the rip.
bet. Yeah.
ruffle some
So-
Some
feathers.
aren't that, you
You've-
can do that stuff all day,
Yeah.
right?
You've laid out the dog perimeter fence of many flag plants now. What's your number one? What's the one that you feel locked and loaded? You want people to remember from this episode?
draft Alex Singleton.
I think that's it, right? Like, I associate you with, like, the long-haired baby. That's why he was the thumbnail for IDP Bets
Yeah.
with you and Johnny, the preseason edition. I was like,
Draft Alex Singleton.
That's
I
it,
think
man.
He's the best pick you can make. Like, if IDP only, I think he's like the best pick you can make in the second round. So he's a value. So and you'd probably be able to get him like linebacker 10 to 12 range, I'd say.
we could look up and say Singleton should have been a top 6 pick, probably,
Yeah.
by the time it's all said and done.
Yeah. I think he's going to be up there it's going to be him and Foye battling it out.
For LB1.
Wow.
Love to see it.
From a points per game perspective, I get it.
Yep.
Yeah. From
That's-
everything perspective, Singleton
Yeah.
is in just a primo spot, and he's just been so good and gotten so much better every single year.
That team is going to stink.
Like an 18% career tackle rate,
That's
just
insane.
absurd.
Wow.
Absurd. But
Could he touch 200 tackles?
he would be one of my.
I think if anyone could do it, right?
Yeah, he'd be in the convo. It'd be him and Foye, and Zaire was on pace to start last year.
Yeah.
Remember?
I think he was pacing for like 225 tackles
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
something.
he
it
was. We
heavy.
talked about
Absurd.
it. Yeah.
So Singleton could do it. Bobo.
He good.
He could.
Good.
He could. I know the Quentin Lake one was your favorite. I think your soul went into the astral plane there for a second when you
Yeah,
heard that
Quentin
one.
Lakes got a special place in my heart
All right.
before he's even played a snap. in the
Someone's going
NFL.
to do 200 here soon.
I
Yeah.
think so.
I
Especially
mean,
if we had 18
It
games.
used to happen all the time.
I know.
I guess there was a lot more running and stuff back then.
Yeah,
too.
not as much passing. All right, Bobo, you got
Pigskins, dude.
you got one more.
lot better times back then.
That's
I'll
right.
tell you that.
Simpler times. I was like, if Nick Bosa's winning MVP, Trump's just won re-election.
That's right.
He's going all out.
That's right.
He's going all out. Bobo, you got one more for us.
As my flag plant number 3, I would like to pay homage to my friend Adam Markham over here with 12 mini flag plants
Oh God.
to upset Josh even more.
Jesus.
Influencer.
Nick
Yeah.
Herbig gets 10 sacks in 2024.
Woo!
Dallas Turner will have more sacks than Jonathan Grenard for the Vikings.
Spicy.
Jeremiah Trotter gets to 70% snap percentages from week 8 on.
Whoa.
Trevin Wallace, 100 tackles.
I thought you were gonna say 100% of snaps.
Jaden
Jaden tackles, baby.
Jaden Tackle Hicks finishes as a top 20 safety. Max Crosby averages less than 80% of the snaps.
Uh-oh.
Jalen Carleys plays more than 50% of the snaps for the Indianapolis Colts.
Look at you.
Braden Fisk will finish with more sacks than Kobe Turner in 2024. Quentin Lake finishes as a top 24 defensive back. Trent McDuffie finishes with more than 15 points per game. Seattle does not finish the season with a top 24 linebacker. And Micah Parsons scores 2 offensive touchdowns in 2024.
This is just absurd. You guys have totally jumped the shark on flag plants. I think we have 100 flag plants between y'all two.
Woo!
Both
We
fired.
just love these things. We love these darn flags.
Y'all are like the damn 4th of July going up and down the interstate exit, just right in the median.
I love when they do that.
It's
I
very
hate that one
patriotic.
big flag. I love when there's 1,500
Give me
of them.
1,500 little
Yeah.
tiny flags.
For real, though, I did go to Cabela's a couple years ago, and they had paid a guy to legitimately put out
the
like
line.
2,500 of these things.
Yep.
I was like, dude, I feel so bad for you right now. I don't remember if it was Labor Day. I don't remember what it was. It was hot, and homie had to put out 1,000-something flags.
Nope. I would just call in
Anybody-
sick that day.
Can I borrow you to come do this at my buddy's house?
Yeah, seriously.
Just put out 1,000 flags.
What's the address?
Just mess with him.
God, I would just, I don't even know what. I think I would just have you come mow them.
He lives near Cabela's.
Mow them. Get the tractor out. I thought of you today, Bobo. I saw a tractor driving
great.
down in front of my
I
house.
do more than just mow, y'all.
with
no, we didn't.
the big, huge like things they mow, like I guess the shoulders of the road.
A bush hog?
That thing was just spinning.
Yeah.
He just had it on.
Yeah.
Driving down the road with it up in the air.
You got that live PTO.
I said, if a bird flies in here, that thing is just getting spit out in chunks.
Or if your arm flies.
I
was gonna say.
a lot of Final Destination images.
Yes, I was like, this is he had like a flag on, and I was like, that doesn't matter if like a
Yeah,
deer
really.
comes running out across the road or something.
Speaking of Final Destination, did y'all see the little quick pop-up carnival the other day with the boat swinging and it
Oh,
started
jeez.
rocking it backwards and people's weight had to hold
Yes.
it down? I don't know what
Never.
possesses people to get on those
I
things.
can't remember
Don't
where
do
it
it,
was.
It's like
it was
the Nate Bargatze little joke saying that like all of this stuff was just on the interstate 30 minutes ago. Like what
Yes.
makes you
Yeah.
think it's good to get on?
There was a roller coaster. I don't know if it was in the U.S. or somewhere else, but they were stuck at the top while it was thunder and lightning and raining. They were just sitting there in a metal death trap while lightning struck all around them. They couldn't get them down.
Wow.
I was like, I think I would just jump. I don't think I wanted to go out getting struck by lightning in the roller coaster.
Yeah, it's scary stuff.
Scary stuff.
Have
well,
you ever drove a tractor, Josh? Like legitimately?
not a tractor, no.
Okay.
I've sat in a tractor. Lauren took pictures of me.
Oh,
You ever
make
get in
it
a
look
good
like.
tractor, man? Ain't nothing.
Ain't
lot,
nothing
do a lot
better.
of good thinking on a
what's your
tractor.
top of the line tractor cost?
Oh
Just
my
depends
God.
on what kind of horsepower we're talking. We got GPS.
Got air conditioning?
You got it all.
You know, like
State of the art.
new farming, like no kidding, like is all GPS. It's all you basically put your your coordinates in, and they want you to be as efficient as possible. They don't want you using any more corn kernels than you need to.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you're basically trying to put as much in that field as you can. It's crazy.
I love that.
Technology's wild, man.
I feel like you'd love that video game Farming Simulator.
Nah, I'm not a big sim guy.
He would get too into it.
It's I mean you're
He'd
you're
be
farming.
gross. Yeah.
You're actually doing it. You're on the track. You're just
Maybe.
controlling.
You
the tractor.
might be a phenom in
Maybe.
Farming Simulator. We're going to get you that for Christmas.
Yeah, I think so.
I want you to report back.
I'm good.
Well, a Christmas present that would be nice for me would be my next flag plant, Leatu Latu.
better be good, Josh.
10 sacks. Now, if you go back to 2000, so let's go back 24 years. Indy's track record of drafting edge rushers is not great. Kwity Paye in 2021, jury's still out, but the results haven't been there so far. Bjorn Werner in 2013, total bust. Jerry Hughes in 2010, still chugging along, just not for the Indianapolis Colts. He played 3 seasons in Indy and totaled 5 sacks. The next 2 years in Buffalo, 20 combined sacks. So that was fun to go back and revisit. But if you go back to 2002, you get Hall of Famer Dwight Freeney, who had 13 sacks in his rookie season. Now, these are not similar players by build at all, but the expectation is that Latu can be that first-round edge rusher we haven't had in 22 years, a hit. Now, the player that Latu has been drawing comparisons to, the aforementioned Nick Bosa, who posted 9 sacks in his rookie season and is built just like Latu. 6'4", Latu's 6'5", 266 pounds, Latu's 259. Bosa did that playing 75% of snaps across 16 games. This was before the 17-game season. I expect a similar snap share for Latu, and despite being already, I think, the best pass rusher along that line, he has help. Paye, Dayo Odengbo, Tyquan Lewis, DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart. This is not Montez Sweat fighting for his life alongside a bunch of rookies and USFL castoffs. If the Colts are going to make a playoff push, they need Latu to be a Bosa-like presence from the jump, and I think he will be. I'm not calling for a Freeney-esque rookie season because that dude was a Hall of Famer, but I do think based on the volume that Latu will get and his underlying metrics, don't forget, courtesy of Adam IDP's Dynasty Rankings, 18.5% pressure rate, 0.73 sacks per game, which would be 12 sacks coming in from college. That 10-sack mark is very doable. So give me 10 sacks for Latu his rookie season, and let's fly, Addy.
Cosign, baby.
Cosign.
Love him. Love him. Yeah, I think he's going to ball out. I think he's going to be like someone you could start every single week out the gate. Forever, until he's done.
The lane cleared with Ebukam going out. I'm just like, this is it. The Colts need this guy now more than ever.
Yeah, I think it alerted everyone else, like, oh, okay, yeah, it is for real. But, I mean, I was going to be all over him either way. He was going to win out no matter what. That dude's a stud. Like, he's special.
Yeah, don't be scared of Tyquan Lewis and Kwity Paye as that bug tries to fly into your mouth. Jesus. And you rip your headphones out. No. I think it's going to be Latu. I think he's been kind of just the Corvette with the wrap on. I think they're not wanting to show what they've got in this guy.
Little annoying about the Ebukam stuff, honestly, because, I mean, he would have been a much better value.
Yes, yes. I think everyone's hip now to the fact that Latu is going to eat.
Yeah.
So, well, there you go, folks. 2024 IDP flag plants. We are just 2 days away from the start of the 2024 NFL season. What a kickoff weekend we get. Chiefs-Ravens on Thursday, Packers-Eagles on Friday in Brazil, plus a great slate of games on Sunday.
Who wins the Super Bowl this year?
I was thinking about that today. I think in the NFC, I'd go a little spicy, go Packers-Seahawks, NFC Championship game, and then over in the AFC, let's go Texans-Chiefs. And then I would say Chiefs-Packers, Super Bowl, give me the Packers beating the Chiefs.
Wow.
I think the Packers are very good.
They're good, yeah.
Do you have thoughts, Eddie?
I think it's going to be a three-peat for the Chiefs. I think Mahomes is pissed. I think Mahomes is about to have like a historic season.
Did y'all realize that, I can't remember if it was last year or maybe the year before last, Mahomes threw for 5,300 yards and didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver?
That's
basically wild. Doing it with Justin Watson.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah.
Kelsey wasn't even over 1,000?
Well, maybe Kelsey was.
Not a
but
wide
as far
receiver.
as like a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Over 1,000.
Yeah, now they're pretty good. I think Xavier Worthy's going to be pretty good out the gate.
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown,
Rasheed
Rice.
Yeah. Yeah, Rasheed Rice is a stud.
Yeah,
so.
the Mahomes kind of like reminder tour of like, I'm the best quarterback in the league, and we're the best team in the league.
And he's getting a little like disrespected too, like with that top 100 thing the players put out. Like, how is this dude not number one? There's a thing where Jamar Chase wasn't even mentioning his name.
Yeah.
It's like
the Kermit doll at Raiders camp.
Right.
Yeah.
People do that stuff.
Yep.
Like,
And contractually, he's now like around like the 10th highest paid quarterback.
Yeah.
After some of these contracts have come out.
I was like, what are y'all doing messing with this dude?
I know.
Like,
Just
Don't
smash
tug on
Chelsea.
Superman's
He's
cape.
Super Bowl.
Don't do
built
it.
different. Like
Yeah.
you're not the same as this guy.
Yeah.
Not even close. So,
Crazy.
Yeah.
This
They'll
could be a
learn.
fun
They'll
season.
learn when he gets like 5 or 6, and they'll start respecting him like they do Brady and stuff. But I mean, he's
For sure.
He's on that path.
You
Yep.
do 2
The
in a row.
NFL has never had a three-peat Super Bowl champion. Like
Right.
3 in a row.
and they know this.
Yeah.
They know,
Yeah.
and
History is in their
Kelsey's
grasp.
window is closing too. So I mean, I think it matters to him right now.
It really is. I mean, both Kelsey brothers now have the runway laid out with New Heights getting acquired for I think $100 million from Amazon.
Yeah,
Wow.
wild.
So
That'll be us here in a couple of years.
Yeah,
that's
for
right.
sure.
We're
We're
coming
tracking.
Amazon
Bezos.
or Omaha or
Prepare.
Underdog. Any of you guys.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah, we'll
We're ready.
We'll look at all the.
I'll do
beats
1,000 flag plants if you guys will acquire the show for $100 million.
Right.
But with week 1 here, we have our regular slate of programming for you all. The brand new relaunched IDP After Show is here in the old Read and React feed. It is Jace Abbey and Tom Kislingberry. Week 1 preview. By the time you're listening to this, that episode will be out in the podcast feed. It drops Wednesday morning on YouTube. IDP bets. I think you, Johnny, and Justin Varnes, week 1 prop bets, tackle and sack props you guys like Friday night.
Got a good feeling about this year. Feel like I'm going to hit a huge parlay one of these weeks.
I think you are. I can feel the energy.
It was very close
Very close
last year to some big boys. But
You're locked in.
we had a really good year last
You're
year.
spent all off season just in the lab.
But we're going to try and really
Level up.
Take it next level.
Yeah.
Hit the big
make
time,
a
Bobo.
living off this
Love
thing.
to see
Let's
it.
go.
Put
Quit
it
your
all
job.
in.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
Just gamble.
Push it all in.
Not going to tell
Middle
my
of the
wife
table.
about any of it
Sure.
either.
Don't tell my wife. That's
Sure.
football season in general. Just
That's
don't
right.
tell the wives how much we spend or how much football we watch.
Yep.
And we'll all be
Sorry,
better
it's
for it.
going to be a game on Friday, babe.
Yeah, sorry there's a game on Christmas this year, and it's on Netflix.
There's 3 of them, actually,
Yep.
all day.
Sorry, we got to do Christmas on the 20th or something. I don't know. I don't care. We'll figure it out. But thank you all for rocking with us all off season. We're going to be here every week breaking down the biggest headlines for you all from the week that was in IDP. So stay tuned. We're going to get you right. Mike's week 1 rankings are already on the website, and we've got the full slate of website content coming to you all starting next week. Wednesday, if you're listening to this, it's Wednesday. Is streaming Wednesday, Cornerback Corner, DL with Scott, defensive end and defensive tackle streamers for you. We got the live stream on Sunday with Jeff. Wednesday's also the launch of the IDP Update, Jeff's new podcast. So just so much goodness for you all. We're here to support you guys all season. So keep rocking with us, and we're going to take care of you. But until next week, y'all enjoy the football. We made it. It's here, and we'll see you all next week.
It's the IDP